We are going to be doing some simple mixed media techniques. You can apply these techniques to card making, art journaling, even a canvas if you would like, whatever crafting or that you do. So yes, and all of the supplies are linked down below. I am going to grab a new book. This is some heavyweight mixed media watercolor paper, I believe. I got this off of Amazon. And I'm going to be working with some magicals. I absolutely love magicals, and I always forget that I have some, but I did purchase some new ones. So we are going to be using those today. This is a set from my good friend Nuneka. She is an amazing mixed media artist here on YouTube and Instagram, so be sure to check her out. She picked all these colors. We're only going to be using these two today. All right, I'm gonna put these back. And I'm going to be using some stamps, but I'm going to use an All in Create stamp, but you can use whatever stamps that you like. I like to go more with like a mixed media fill, but you could definitely, if you have just triangles, you can kind of mix and match like triangles with numbers and splotches and, you know, kind of do your own thing if you would like. Let's dive right in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, not that color, spray a little distress spray stain onto my mat here. And then I'm going to take the stamp and just get it inked up with the spray. And what this spray does, instead of just stamping with regular ink, it gives it a more mixed media feel, messy and kind of grungy, kind of splotchy, and that's a good starting point for when you're doing mixed media. So, all right, and I don't want to go, whoops, I don't want to go all the way completely. Let me grab my example here. So, as you could see, I didn't stamp it all the way onto the page. So I'm going to just leave this maybe here-ish. Yeah. Okay. And make sure my letters are all upright. So I'm going to stamp a little, so I curve this. I still have it, I'm getting ahead of myself. I have it still on some of the packaging. And what I do is I like to curve it. So then I can go in and curve it up so I'm not getting a perfect impression. And I'm just going to stamp down here and then a little down here. And I could just press where I want some of that. Okay. And then I could see here, I need a little bit. And then that's your first, that's your first layer. Okay. I know it's hard to see, but that is it. Nothing much yet. We're gonna build up. All right, we're gonna take some of the magicals now, and I'm going to take a small paintbrush. And so this stuff, when you open it, it will get everywhere, but a little bit goes a long way. So you can see I'm just barely getting a little bit on my paintbrush here. I'm gonna put it in a little container. And my paintbrush is not wet, it's dry. So I'm going to take this one here, Galactic Teal. And then just a little bit on my brush here. Not too much. All right, then I'm going to put it in here. Then I'm going to add a little bit of water to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little dropper because I don't want to spray inside of these or else it will get everywhere. So just a little dropper here. You could see there's so many different colors in the magicals. That's why they are called magicals. All right. So I would love to know who has worked with magicals before or any Lindy's products. I always forget that I have them, to be honest. All right. So now I'm going to take my paintbrush and I'm going to spray a little bit of water here on my page. And then we're just going to splatter. As you could see, I did a lot of splattering. I'm going to take that teal and then just force it onto the page here. I'm not tapping like this. This is going to give you smaller splatters if you go like this. So I'm picking up a lot of that, just letting it soak into the bristles. And then I'm going to just like that. Forcefully splatter on there, if that makes sense. Then you get bigger splatters. Okay. And I think I need this a little bit more concentrated. So I'm going to take this and add a little bit more. You got to really be careful because those could get everywhere. I'm going to see how I just added a little bit more of that powder and then how deep that color is now. So we're just adding splatters. Very, very simple way to start off a mixed media project here. Nothing crazy. Although when I first started mixed media, it does look intimidating, but I hope that I can break it down so that it isn't as intimidating. So, and then you try it. All right, I'm going to add a little less of the magenta because we are going to add the magenta to the hexagons, right? But I do want a little bit in that background. And I did actually add more stamping on this one, huh? This one is a little bit more. So maybe we'll do that once I dry this. So I'm going to dry this, hopefully. All right, I'm going to actually spray a little bit more. And then I'm going to go in with just a droplet of espresso to darken that up a little bit. Nothing crazy. Because I want more stamping. So as you could see on this one, it's a lot. What's the word I'm looking for? Pigmented. All right. Splotchy. There we go. It's a little bit better. With mixed media, you can never get it to be exact because it's just, it is what it is. You know, you just kind of have to roll with it. And yeah, there we go. That's a little better. All right, while that dries, I'm going to move on to the hexagons. And I have some here that I was actually just chalk. And I'm just going to go in and paint. I'm not looking for it to be perfect. I'm not going for perfection. Just kind of on there. We're actually going to do some stamping and add some of the Foundry Wax as well. So lots going on in this little page. And again, if you are intimidated by size, and these hexagons are from Tim Holtz. I just nested them together and then cut them out. These outlines. Okay. And I'm going to take it and I'm just to add a little bit more interest. That's what mixed media is all about. And textures. I'm going to splatter a little bit on here. So I painted these with the, it's called Martian Magenta. And now I am going to stamp on them. So I'm going to take that same stamp and some Archival ink in black. And I'm going to kind of line them up, but just kind of stamp randomly just to get some texture on there. Man, I was late and all these technical issues, and you all are still here. Well, most of you anyways. Thank you for sticking around. Sometimes you never know with technology. It's amazing and not so amazing at the same time. All right. You know what? I'm going to actually add a little stamping in black to this as well. All right. What is a stamp? This is I don't know the name of it. It should be linked in the description. It is from All in Create, and I love the All in Create stamps. I just actually ordered some more. Just to kind of get some texture going there. And you can always switch stamps too, but just kind of, I tried to get the text on this stamp so you could see the text on there instead of the triangles. All right, actually, I think I want this section down here. That's why I love these stamps, because they have a lot going on. So you kind of can choose kind of what you want. And married PJB Stamper. My husband is a network engineer, so when the network goes down and he can't do anything about it, he definitely is frustrated. So I can imagine. All right. There we go. And I think I might add a little bit more splatters. There we go. There we go. All right. I'm going to set that aside to dry. Now we're going to work with some of the new Foundry Wax. All right, so I'm going to take a little bit of the Foundry Wax, and I kind of get a lot on my paintbrush, and then I'm going to swipe it on the edge here. Kind of gloop it on. And then I also want to make sure that I get this on the inside as well. And you have to work fast. That's why I only put a little bit, enough for me to do one hexagon, because it will dry up. Okay. There we go. Just like this. Oh, got a dry spot there. All right, there we go. There we go. Cindy, I really love them for like their intended use, if that makes sense. They wouldn't replace my Finnabair waxes, because the Finnabair waxes would be a little bit easier to do that technique. But this is good for this. Like, I can gloop it on there and splatter them. There we go. You guys can see that. hopefully that it'll show up, because when you add heat, and you have to add heat to these waxes, that's when the magic happens, and then it just brightens everything up. So let me do that for you guys. And it doesn't take a lot of heat, just a little bit, and then you'll see that change. The heat tool is probably getting in the way. But it's actually really cool to see. Trying to hold it where you guys can see. All right. I'm just going to do them all down here now that I showed up close. All right. Next, I'm going to add a little bit to my mat here. And I'm going to splatter, but I don't want to use this big brush. I want to use a little brush. Try this one here. And I know Tim said to, what's the word that I'm looking for? Thin it out with alcohol. As you could see, if I work quickly, I don't really have to do that. But the other day, I need to get back a little bit because I'm wearing one of my favorite shirts. So it's starting to dry up now. And I found out that you can actually, if it's not completely dry, you can kind of rehydrate it, I guess would be maybe the word. I don't know what the word would be. But then you can get more life out of it. When it starts to get gloopy and not able to splatter, you can add alcohol to it, isopropyl alcohol, and use it that way. All right. So I'm going to add some of the gold here as well. I don't know how well it will come out of close. I'm going to add a little bit of alcohol there. And picking up quite a bit on my paintbrush and trying to splatter it on, but it's already starting. This stuff dries really, really fast. All right. Now I am going to heat this again so that all those splatters will settle or set. You have to use heat with these waxes, or else it'll just end up kind of not flaking off, but rubbing off. And then I added some splatters to here, so I'm just going to heat those up as well. Make sure I get all of them. Perfect. And you can just kind of configure your hexagons or circle. You can use circles, whatever you want. And I think I like that. All right. So I am going to take some micro distress glaze. This is not just for distress sprays. I use it on with my, it is watercolor paper, yes. All right, so I lost my big tool that I like to use, so I'm just using this little finger dauber, which is fine because it's a little area, but I just want to rub it over top here. This is going to do two things: seal the magicals in place because they are water reactive, and then also brighten everything up. If you haven't used distress micro distress glaze, I would highly suggest. And if you use mica stains or anything like that, I don't know what the magic is behind it. It just is. All right. See, we have a simple background, splatters and stamping. That's basically what it was. All right. It's not as hard as it looks, I promise. Okay. Nope, I want this one and this one. Did I keep my butterfly somewhere close? Yes, I did. Okay. So I have this butterfly. All right. And what I like to use on top of the Distress Micro Glaze, because regular liquid glue will not work, is Collage medium. And this takes a little bit of time. I'm going to take a paper towel, and because my hands are really inky, so I don't want to get smudges anywhere. So I'm just going to flatten this out a little bit. All right. Anybody crafting today? Working on anything fun? Yeah, this does not want to go down. I do have some washi tape, which I know will work. All right, so we're gonna this is all in Create washi tape. And I'm just gonna put this right here on the edge. Not really, being too particular about anything here. And then this one on this edge here. All right, now we're going to add some collage medium to the butterfly. And this is one that I had cut out and done for a different project. And I have like these I had a little tray at some point, but it just kind of got a little too messy. So I have like these little pouches where I just kind of stick things in. And when I need a little embellishment or something, I kind of try to go there first. Next, and I believe this is the last step. So I told you it was simple. Thank you. I muted the mic. All right. So for splatters, I like to use the Dina Wakley Gloss Spray. All right. Now we're going to add more splatters. Splatter until your heart's content. If anybody tells you you add too many splatters, then they need to be kicked off your bus because you don't need that negativity. That one is a little excessive, but it is what it is. But that's it. Do your best. That's perfect. And on this one, I added gold around it, but I'm going to opt out of that. So I am going to add a little bit of the collage medium to the back of this sticker. It is lunchtime for me too. Okay, this doesn't want to stay. This doesn't want to stay. All right. There we go. It's that simple. And that's it. Thank you all for joining and sticking with me. If you want to learn even more mixed media tips and techniques, be sure to click this playlist right here somewhere on the screen. And I want to thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you all later. Bye.